Okay, I've had several people ask me exactly how this door liner stuff really will help preserve your hoops. Um, the reason being, some have posted that this is silly and not necessary. Well, when you have to pay $60 for a new set of hoops in a couple years, you won't find it so silly. I've now had this since last June, and my hoops are doing fine. I have another machine that I did this for, and it preserved them quite a while. And a friend of mine showed me how to do this, and she gets, I mean, ever since she started doing this, she's had no problems with the mechanisms giving out. Now, what the problem is like when you're hooping something and you're maybe just using the water-soluble stabilizer, like FSL, or if you're doing something that's really thin, you'll note that you almost have to have this screw all the way tight in order for it to tighten down on it and clamp it properly. And what happens is it strips out the screw, because eventually you won't be able to get it to tighten down like that. It just keeps spinning. And your fabric and your project is not going to stay stable in the hoop during this time. So a friend of mine told me about the drawer liner stuff. Other people have used the vet wrap, which is what some doctors use for wrapping gauze, you know, like if they've drawn blood or something like that. And they'll wrap the edges of the longer edges of their hoop with it to kind of give it a tight down. The only thing with that is, to me, sometimes it gets a little gummy, and I don't like the way it sticks on some of my fabric. This, I have no issues whatsoever with it having any kind of residue. Now, I have a Janome machine, and my largest hoop sewing size is a 5x7, but this actually measures a little more than that, but it does not go to the edge. So what I did was I laid down my hoop and gave it about a 1/2 inch all the way around on the inside, and then a 1/2 inch along the outsides of it. And I cut it for that. So for this on a Janome, it's a 140 by 200 centimeter hoop. So what this cut out to be was 9 inch this way and 12 inches this way. And the way I do is, I'm trying to do this one-handed and hold the phone at the same time to record this. So basically I just cut little slits in the corner. You can see what I did here. And I place those just like so around on the hoop. And again, this is difficult with being one-handed. And forgive me, I'm kind of lame today after having some tests done. But you're just going to lay it in so that you got about a 1/2 inch over on all the way around on your hoop. Like this, just kind of laying it on there. And I usually will either hoop just my stabilizer and also if it's a thin fabric, I'll use the fabric. But 9 times out of 10, I don't hoop any fabric anymore. I have found that I like floating it much easier. So basically, I just then lay your water soluble, your tearaway, your cutaway, any of that, and you're gonna just hold on. I'm gonna try to keep this rolling and stand this up while I record here. All right, and then I just add my stabilizer. Now, I may have to open this just a little bit more because I had used just a plain stabilizer to do a video earlier on something else. So open this up so that you can get plenty of gap in here, and then just press down on your hoop, locking it into place, and everything's nice and smooth. And then if you'll see here, your screw is not so far down now that it's going to strip out. It's going to be able to tighten down without having it go to the bottom. This will save your hoops in the long run, because over time those little screw holes do get wore out when you're tightening it down all the way, even if you're not using a screwdriver, because I don't use a screwdriver on mine. I only do it hand tightening. But when you're doing something just as thin as this fine water soluble stabilizer, it's hard to get it to stay stable in your hoop. And I'm going to go a little bit further on in a next video on showing you how I do it with floating, because I've had several people ask me that are new ones to this website, how do I float my material. So I will do another video shortly on how to do it with the floater. Thanks so much.